Welcome to Magic in the Ordinary. Today it is my joy and privilege to welcome a musician, Alec Collins, to the show. Alec,
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Let's start with the beginning. How did you get into music?
Good question. I've always loved music. As long as I remember, I've grown up listening to music, listening to Christian radio, soundtracks, musicals, and all sorts of music. And I think just growing up around music and musicals and theater, I think, are some of the biggest influences in my own musical taste. And I think one of the things that really stood out to me was soundtracks when I was younger, watching movies and listening to how soundtracks just added so much to storytelling. To listen to a good soundtrack and be like, I know exactly what's happening in the movie or in the story. And so I think that's a huge influence for me, at least, of storytelling and music being connected.
I love that. I also love soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
So good. How did you, or what drew you to start performing and releasing your music as like albums?
Yeah. I don't know. I've always thought about writing and releasing my own stuff. I didn't start really recording my own music until last year. Started getting more into like the software and engineering side of putting layers together in tracks. And after that I was like, well, I need to figure out what to sing and say on top of this and kind of define myself as an artist and what genre I want things to be in. And there's so many different ways you could go with it. But I kind of pulled all the things that really inspire me. Storytelling and like a very gentle narrative, folky vibe is kind of what I tend towards in my music. And so, yeah, I loved not only like having a finished product, but the process of creating from start to finish, and being able to just look at where I started and where I am now. And I continue to learn and continue to grow. And it's like any artist looking back at their first couple works being like, I'm proud of it. I know that I can do better now, but it's also like, look where I've come from. And so that's kind of something over this last like year and a half of music and creating that has really inspired me to keep going and make more and just like continue to create.
Expand. So are we ever going to get a movie soundtrack from you?
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be so cool.
That would be fun if I mean, I would love the challenge if someone came to me with a movie and was like, hey, do you want to try to score this? And I could just try, and they don't have to use it, but like the idea of that is pretty fun to me.
Okay, do you ever listen or like do you ever read books and then you start to get a score in the back of your head, or is it more like it's a separate process?
That's a good question. It's probably a separate process. I'm not a huge reader, if I'm being honest. Don't be too offended here. I do love audiobooks. I listen to a lot of audiobooks as of recently. And it's very like visual for me. Like I love like seeing the characters talking to each other, the environment they're in. And I think soundtrack like adds visually to a movie as well. So like to have, the movie shot and scene to scene and how the director's portraying and telling the story, I think the soundtrack should match that as much as possible because it's just another layer on top of storytelling as a medium. And so for me, if I were to score something, it'd be like I need the movie done and not just the script. Like the script adds to it and like what the story is and the vibe of it, but to be able to see shot for shot which character is where, I think adds to like everything of how you would score a film.
That's really cool. I love that. How do you describe your music style?
It's tough, but the genre I guess I kind of created, or what I like to call it, is narrative indie folk.
Okay.
So it's very independent, very narrative in the sense that I love storytelling with it. Yeah. And then I love folk as like the main genre, I guess. That is like, if you tell someone I love folk music, they kind of have an idea of what that is. But then if I don't know, the indie side of like independent, like very raw. Like I love just recording straight into a mic and just whatever's there is there, and you listen to it and be like, oh, this is very, like very raw and independent made.
I think that is particularly like wanted right now in the era of AI, and so I think people want that kind of human side of things.
Yeah,
which is really cool. All right, can you tell us about your new album that just got released?
Sure. So I just released my first album, which super excited. It's called Hands of Time, and I had been working on a handful of songs for a while, and I was like, I don't know if I want to release these as singles. I need some sort of narrative, something that kind of connects them all in a certain sound, a certain story, and it just got to the point where there was enough of them, and I was like, I'm gonna like clean this up and make it a full album and just release it all as one. And so I kept trying to find like a title track or some sort of narrative that would connect them all. And wrote this song called Hands of Time, which I'm super proud of, and it talks about basically stepping back and telling yourself to like live in the moment a bit more, stop worrying about the hands of time that are robbing you, basically, of like you're so hyper focused on what everybody else is doing, and to just live in the moment a bit more, before you, like the line is like, wake up and look back and regret of like worrying about what you were doing with your time. So that's kind of the whole idea of like figuring out what to do with your time, and then a bunch of songs as well, like reflecting on time and what you've done with it and where you're going, and also knowing that like tomorrow is not a guarantee, and just like live grounded basically, and like be in the moment and just experience life as it comes at you.
I love that. It's about being present. Did you design the cover art?
I drew the album art as well. Nice. I mean, it's kind of a artsy thing, and you can kind of define it however you want, but my thought with it, it's a lily that's being held down by like a pocket watch. So the pocket watch is like what I decided as like the theming of it, the whole album. And lilies are often depicted with like new life, and are often like put around gravestones of like new life is being born. And so the idea was like the clock is the only thing holding the flower from standing up fully. That's why it's like bent down.
I like that.
Held down. So like the idea is if like you can stop worrying about what the clock is doing, you'll bloom fully.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna wear the hat now and just be like,
hey,
this has so much meaning.
Know what's behind it all. Yeah.
Yes. Where do you find inspiration? Where do you get inspiration from?
All over the place. Okay. Lots and lots of different artists. Lots of. I've gotten into like looking at paintings, like just scrolling through different paintings. Movies. Love a good artsy movie that can inspire. One of my favorite movies that kind of inspired the title track song actually is called Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
It's a little older one, but it's a really, really fun one, about kind of a teen that skips school and like has this crazy, crazy fun day, and like gets his friend Cameron to come along with him basically, and like gets them out of school, and they're doing all these fun things, and the whole thing is like the principal is trying to basically catch them of like, I knew you weren't sick, like you gotta stop skipping school, because like this is a consistent thing that he does apparently. But the famous line at the end, that really hit different like this last time that I watched it, is Ferris says, life moves pretty quick. If you don't slow down every once in a while, you could miss it. And it's very, I don't know, it hit so well at the end of the movie of being like, he lived this crazy day, and it very much inspired me to be like, you know what, like I don't have to live a crazy, crazy fun day like that every single day, but to step back, like the song says, and stop worrying about what the hands of time are doing, robbing you from living in the moment. Yeah,
I
so
like that.
good movie. If you haven't seen it, would recommend.
I think we've only seen the trailer, so I think I
Okay.
have to actually watch it now.
Yeah.
That's cool. I saw, it reminds me of a quote, the slowing down piece reminds me of a quote that was, if it's not slow, it's not human. Like how we, as human beings, we have to slow down a little bit more. And it's interesting. It's almost counterintuitive to our culture, which is like faster, faster, faster.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, wait, slow down. Go out and, have those days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any tips for maybe musicians who are playing, but they haven't taken that leap of like releasing an album or getting up in front of a crowd and performing?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Just do it, I guess, is my first thing. Like with where I'm at too, you'll never get to a point where you're like comfortable or you'll feel like I deserve to be here right now. There's so many like moments where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's awesome that I've been given this opportunity. I'm gonna take the most of it. Like there'll be shows or stages or stuff. Like I say, get right to where you think you're good enough, and then ask to do the next step above it. And then if you're approved for that, then you get to go do it, and then you're gonna feel more confident, and then you get to go to the next thing.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it's been since I started gigging last year. Just getting more and more comfortable in front of people. And there was like the first couple shows, I was like, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, but I'm doing it confidently, and I've been told that it sounds good enough, and they keep having me back. And so it's like, just go do it. Take the leap of faith, and also get used to being told no. Like that's the other thing, of playing at venues or places. There's no harm in asking. Just be like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm offering. They might say no, and that's totally fine. And so I've gotten good at hearing no, and I'm also really excited when I hear yes. And then also it's okay to say no as well. If there's other places asking, and you don't have the time, or you don't have maybe it's not the venue you're shooting to be at, like it's chill to say no as well.
Gotcha. How was it taking that leap from like, you just started gigging, you said last year. Were you nervous about it, or were you like, yes, this is exactly the step I'm supposed to be taking?
Well, I was a little nervous when it comes to like performing your own art in front of people. I've grown up at like Church of St. Paul's playing praise and worship, and leading a group there. And also like doing theater and stuff through high school. So I'm like pretty confident when it comes to like speaking in front of people or singing in front of people. The part that would make me nervous when I first started was singing my own stuff, of like something that I wrote, that's like, I put my heart and soul into, and maybe it's like a cute little love song or whatever. That the judgment from that of being like, what are people going to think about this? I need you to love it.
Yes.
No, if you believe in your art and you put your best foot forward, just feel confident and comfortable in that, and whatever happens with it. I was playing a gig the other week, and it was the first time like my album was out, so I was playing like a lot of my own music. And I had an older gentleman come up to me during like a break in between, and he was like, I really respect that you keep saying like, this is another original that I wrote, this is what it's about, here we go. And he was like, it made me like more interested in the music than just hearing all these covers that I've heard for years at this bar, of like people come in and they just play the same songs over and over again, just with a different voice behind it. And he was like, because you're singing so many originals, like I'm very in tune with the music of like what's going on, what's the story. And he was like, I really, really commend that, like, well done.
Yes.
And so it was very encouraging for me to be like, hey, yo, the older dude at the bar who's like bored of all this music he's heard before loved my stuff. So
all the fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. It's so real though. Like when you're sharing something like even when I released my novel, launched that, and I was like, people are like, "Are you excited?" And I was like, "I thought I was gonna be excited. I am, but like I was really scared because it was like this is like my words now. I don't know. It's just something different, I think, and giving something original out in the world and being like, kind of realizing, people don't have to love it. Like if you're proud of what you've done, then you can just go out there confidently and do that.
Exactly, and it's kind of your own relationship with your art as well. Like for me, it's tough because I'm like trying to work ahead basically.
Yeah.
So like I was done with the album, like releasing it. I'm working on like 4 or 5 other songs already that I'm like focused on. And so it's kind of weird of like coming back, I finished these songs, a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, what was like the inspiration behind this? Like, because it's so behind you already. Like I'm so go. Which is like basically the story of like the album of like, no, live in the moment, dude. Like appreciate what's going on. But it's so like, I don't know, to like the first couple songs that I ever wrote, to look back and be like, I know exactly where the inspiration was and what was going on, and I'm proud of these. Cool. But then to also be like, now I'm going on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And just like compiling all these pieces and things that you've looked at. It's a very, very fun thing to like have a different type of relationship with every like art piece as well, every that song. You've made. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. All right. So for me, music is magic in the ordinary, like title of the podcast, but it's very much something that impacts us in a really cool way that we have in our everyday lives. But I was wondering if you could speak to why do you think people need music, or what's so good about creating music that can impact us?
Yeah. One thing that comes to mind instantly is like music being a universal language.
Yeah.
Of like, no matter where you are in the world, like you don't have to speak the language, but you hear music, and maybe they're singing lyrics or whatever, but the emotion behind how they're speaking, even if it's a language you don't understand, like you can instantly tell if it's like a sad song or a happy song or like an inspirational song or like a song that makes you want to get up and dance. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind of like, as a human experience, like music is very much in our core, of something that we all like can appreciate. And then another point that comes to why music is so important is music, especially right now, I think in the world, is something that we can all bond over when it comes to like very human emotion and human experience and storytelling and inspiration, and you can tell when like someone's put their heart and soul into something. And with like where so many like machine learning things and AI and whatnot in music, I was listening to someone talk about how strange it is, but also he's not too worried about it right now. And I really loved his point of like, what makes human music so much better is we're not very efficient when it comes to like getting the product out, right? Of like true. From start to finish, like we'll go all over. We're not good at like, boom, there's the product. We knew exactly what it was going to be like. Whereas AI is like, you give it a prompt and boom, it's like runs the algorithms to the most efficient output, right? With us, there's so many mistakes and raw emotion and like so many, I don't know, just human error that's in it. And our ears pick up on that still and go, that's what makes it so grounded and so real. And I don't know, lyrics that are broken or have a voice crack or go out of tune at that certain point that just like hits. It makes the song so much better. I think that's another thing that us as humans can just bond over with music, of like that was created by someone and I can hear that.
Oh, I love that. It reminds me of like I went to the MIA and was like looking at the brushstrokes, and like just zooming in and seeing the messiness of some of these, you know, very famous paintings with the brushstrokes were just a little bit chaotic. I don't know why like that hit me on a really deep level where I was like, these people were actually here just like sweating over this painting.
Yeah.
And I'm able to stand in the exact same spot that they were standing, however many hundred years later, and just like appreciate that. And I feel like that is so true with music as well. Where like this is, like I'm being able to experience a piece that is human, and it's really cool to see that. I even think too, I was thinking the other day because I've been practicing ukulele and my fingers have no calluses, and I was like, why do I spend like hours and hours learning how to strum this thing when I could like type it into like some thing to make a similar sound? Just being like, I think something happens to us when music is going through us. Like I just feel like it just changes us too. Whenever I'm singing like in choir, like when we'd hit those notes just perfectly and like the whole building was like echoing with it. It's like that was always, there was something unique that happened there, where you felt like you're saying, like being able to bond over something, like you felt very connected in that moment.
Yeah.
Being able to, having music go through you, not just, listening to something that maybe someone else wrote, but actually singing it sometimes it's a really cool experience.
Oh yeah. And especially with like, that's why I love live music and concerts and stuff, and like being surrounded with other people all experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
Something about that, like you can sit in a room by yourself and blast music and have a great experience. There's something about an artist performing what they created and having the whole room experience it all together. Of like, oh, we all know what you're singing about or experiencing there, or whatever feeling or emotion you're trying to get to us, we're all feeling it. Well done.
Yes. Yeah, we've because we love coming to your shows, and like we've been trying to get more and more like live music in our life, and we're like the word we like to use is like healing. Like it's just like it's so fun hearing the song live. Like we can listen to, the same CD, but hearing things live, whether that's like a classical piece or whatever it is, getting it live is just, it's a different experience with everyone.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool. So this kind of leads right into collaboration. What role has collaboration played in your journey?
Yeah, I love working with other people, collabing, helping other people with their own art as well. For me, and this might be a selfish thing, but like if I'm working on a song and it needs a little something more, maybe an instrument that I can't play, or I'm like someone else's voice would sound really good on this song. To have such a great community of like other people that I know that are super talented, to be like, hey, when are you free to come, put violin on this track, or can you sing on this? And just have someone show up in the next week and be able to do that live and put it on a track and mix it in. One of the main things collaboration has done for me is like inspired me to finish projects really fast. To like have someone else's, heart and soul on it as well. Only inspires me to be like, I need to get this done so that they can appreciate how beautiful it is as well. And so I think that's the main thing collaboration has been doing for me, is like inspires me to get it done and get it out in the world so that everyone can experience like the beauty that was working with someone else.
So cool.
Yeah. I'm sure there's many, many other things as well, but
collaboration
of doing live music like with my band and stuff is super fun as well.
That's awesome.
Because I can't do it all by myself to make a full sound live, but cool. Yeah, I love working with others.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite instrument?
That's a tough question. It goes between guitar and piano, I think.
Okay.
Of like ones that I enjoy sitting down and playing. I think there's a difference between what I enjoy playing the most and what I enjoy listening to the most.
Okay.
I think piano I enjoy playing the most, but listening, I've been really loving like a really sad trumpet.
Okay.
Like a really like reverby, big like lead trumpet on top of like a classical piece.
Okay.
Random, and I'm sure it's going to change probably in the next week as to what my favorite thing to listen to is. But yeah, like a trumpet or like a fugal horn or like some sort of woodwind on top of like a piece.
That is so random. All right, so are we gonna get a bunch of trumpets in like the next album?
Maybe. I might have met someone who can play trumpet really well the other week. Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
We'll see.
Awesome. All right, so if people want to go to listen to your music or to book you as a DJ or whatever, where can they go?
They can go to my website.
Awesome.
I have a website, aleccollinsmusic.com, all one word. And then all the, wherever if you stream music, it's all linked on there as well. So you can find iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music. And most of my music is just on the website as well if you want to listen to it from there.
And then Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, Instagram,
that's all
YouTube, TikTok. It's all connected on there as well.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your insights.
Thanks for having me.